Hare Krishna. So let's begin with Jai Radha Madhava. Actually feeling very hot with this garland. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Shamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Om Vishnupara Paramhamsa Privracharya Astutasara. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Om Vishnupara Paramhamsa Privracharya Astutasara. Srila Bhaktisanta Saraswati Maharaja ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Namse Kahor Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Giri Govardhan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Ol. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Indradumna Swati Namini. Namaste. Saraswati Devi Gauravan Charini Rishishanya Vari Vaschadaristhani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll be reading from the 4th canto, 9th chapter, 630. Dhruva uvacha samadhina nekabhavena yatpadam samadhina nekabhavena yatpadam vidusanandaya urvaretasa Nisar aham sadbhir anushamodayas Chayam opetya bhagata pritanmati Samadhina nekabhavena yatpadam Vidhusanandaya urvaretasaha Nirasair aham sadbhir amushya padayos. Chayam upecha gatapatanmati. Masaya. Samadhina neka bhavina yadpadam. Vidhu sanandaya urvaretasa. Masir aham sadbhiramushya padayos. Chayam upetya paghata patanmati. Let's see. Samadhina neka bhavana yadpadam. Vidhu sanandaya urvaretasa. Masir aham sadbhiramushya padayos. Chayam upetya gata patanmati. Louder. Mataji's. Ujjwala. Samadhina neka bhavana yadpadam. Vidhu sanandaya urvaretasa. Masir aham sadbhiramushya padayos. Chayam upetya gata patanmati. Let's do the word for word meaning. Dhruva vacha. Dhruva Maharaj said, Samadhina, by practicing yoga in trance. Na, never. Eka bhavena, by one's birth. Yat, which. Padam, position. Vidhu, understood. Sananda, adhaya, the 4 brahmacharis headed by Sanandana. Urvaretasa, infallible celibates. Masai, within months. Aham, I. Sadbhir, 6. Amushya, of him. Padayur, of the lotus feet. Chayam, shelter. Upechya, achieving. Apagataha, fell down. Pritakmati, my mind fixed on things other than the Lord. So translation goes as follows. Dhruva Maharaj thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task, because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practice Astanga Yoga in trance, attain the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months, I have achieved the same result, yet due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. So this is Dhruva Maharaj, and he is he is speaking these words. Let's see what Srila Prabhupada has to say in the purport. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In this verse, Dhruva Maharaj himself explains the cause of his moroseness. First, he laments that to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly is not easy. Even great saintly persons like the four celebrated brahmacharis, headed by Sanandana, Sanaka, Sanatana, and Sanatkumar, practiced the yoga system for many, many births and remained in trance before getting the opportunity to see the Supreme Lord face to face. As far as Dhruva Maharaj was concerned, he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead only after 6 months of practice in devotional service. He expected, therefore, that as soon as he met the Supreme Lord, the Lord would take him to his abode immediately, without waiting. Dhruva Maharaj could understand very clearly that the Lord had offered him the rule of the world for 36,000 years, because in the beginning he was under the spell of material energy and wanted to take revenge against his stepmother and rule over his father's kingdom. Dhruva Maharaj greatly lamented his propensity for ruling the material world and his revengeful attitude towards the living entities. Om Jnanati Mirandhasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopik Kanta Radhakanta Namaste. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchikalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So yesterday we were listening to Smita Krishna Prabhu and how he basically first gave us an understanding of what was going on. With Dhruva Maharaj, he saw the Lord face to face. Well, he wanted a kingdom that was greater than his father's, and his mother asked him to go to the forest and pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then this is what he did. He went to the forest in search of the Supreme Lord. But we see that he performed many austerities, and eventually he got darshan of the Lord. The Lord came before him and asked Dhruva, what do you want? I'm here to fulfill your desires. And because Dhruva, when he came in face to face with the Lord and he saw the Lord, he saw his beauty, and he was overtaken by his beauty and by his energy, basically. So he was like, my dear Lord, I was looking for broken pieces of glass, but now I have seen you. I I do not need anything. But the Lord said, but no, but this was your desire, so, I have to fulfill your desire. So here, Dhruva is regretting, like, why have I asked this, And because we see that because there is some material contamination within his heart, there is some material contamination in that, he wanted a kingdom greater than his father's. He wanted to take revenge for his stepmother, because his stepmother, asked him, told him not to sit on his father's lap, and he got very agitated by that. How can I not sit on my father's lap, but my other brother can sit on my father's lap? So, and she said that if you want to sit on your father's lap, you have to take birth from my womb. He felt very insulted by this. Now, how is this possible? And then he said, okay. Then he felt very hurt, although he was 5 years of age. He felt very hurt, and he went to his mother and explained, his mother Suniti, that this is what the stepmother had said. And she says, there's no way I can help you in this, because your father's favorite is Queen Surichi. So there's no way that he's going to listen to me. So best you go to the forest and you pray to the Supreme Lord, and he will grant your wishes. So then Dhruva, in his heart, he felt, no, I want to take revenge. I need a kingdom that's greater than my father's. I want to show him, who's who. So, we also get these feelings sometimes, that because of the contamination in our hearts, we want to take revenge. But actually, we just leave everything to Krishna. Must just leave everything to Krishna. Krishna can see what is going on, because he's in the hearts of each and every individual, right? And he knows what is going on. So if anything happens like this, you just say, my dear Lord Krishna, just pray and leave everything in your hands, and you do as you please, because I'm in no position to actually do anything. And this is surrender. You just leave all your problems at Krishna's lotus feet, and Krishna, you take care. You know what is going on. You know what is going on in that person's heart, and you know what's going on in my heart. So you work it out. So in this way, Krishna, he very mercifully, he does the right thing. So in this way, we should not feel revengeful, and like this. But now he's regretting why he had all these desires. Now that I've seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's like these desires are like nothing. They're just like bubbles in the ocean. They come and go. And here now, for 36,000 years, I need to rule. I must rule this world. What's the use of it? When I could have just went straight back home, back to Godhead. So our hearts need to be free of this contamination, right? And so like this, Dhruva is regretting his plight, because he said, I could have went straight back home, but now I have to stay behind, and rule this world for 36,000 years. So we see that, and here Dhruva is saying that the Kumaras, the Kumaras, they practice yoga for many, many years, and they got the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the end. And here I did this practice just for 6 months, and I got the same result. I got to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how fortunate are we in this Kali Yuga that we got the easiest method, right? In the Satya Yuga, it was meditation. And in this Kali Yuga, you just need to chant the holy names of Krishna and go back to Godhead. How fortunate are we? And Srila Prabhupada has actually given us the chanting of these holy names. Jai Shri Radharanath ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So how fortunate are we then in this Kali Yuga that, within this lifetime we can chant Hare Krishna, follow the four regulative principles, and go back home, back to Godhead. So this is the process that Srila Prabhupada has given us. He made a concession, not to chant 64 rounds, but chant 16 rounds. He brought it down to 16 rounds. So we are very fortunate in that regard. And then we see that where's my other point? Let me just check that. Yeah, people that lived in the Satya Yuga, they basically lived for 100,000 years. And we basically, in this Kali Yuga, we live for mere 100 years, but most of us don't even see 100, right? The highest we go up to is 70 or maybe 80 if we're lucky. 50 basically, right? Some of us who. So basically, our lifespan has shortened so much. But we see that in the previous ages, people lived for 100,000 years, and they practiced meditation for 60,000 years. Like Subari Muni, he practiced meditation for 60,000 years under the water. And, and then because he had this desire, or he had, okay, so I'll just start from the beginning. So once when Garuda came to eat, right? And Garuda, he eats snakes and what do birds eat, right? Snakes and worms and fish and all of these things, right? So Garuda came to eat some fish. And Subari Muni, he chased Garuda away. No, you cannot do this, right? And Garuda is a Vaishnava. So if we basically, someone comes to take prasad and we chase them away, then this is a maha aparad, because we don't know who the other person is. Right? He could be a Vaishnava, he could be practicing from his previous life and coming, and in this way, we causing offenses. So this was Subari Muni's offense, that he caused this great maha aparad to Garuda, and Garuda is a Vaishnava, he's Lord Vishnu's carrier, right? So and then he had to pay for that offense. So while he was meditating, he saw two fish mating, and then this desire arose in his heart. He got out of the water, smelling like a fish, right? Old, and it is described that his head was trembling because he's an old man, and he had this desire that he wants to enjoy the opposite sex. So he went to the king and he asked the king, can I marry one of your daughters? And the king, seeing his plight, like such an old man, and his, he wants to marry my daughters, and my daughters are like of marriageable age. They're like teenagers. And the king said, I'll leave it up to them, I'll leave it up to them to choose their spouses. So in that way, he didn't offend Subari Muni. And in this way, he granted him his wish, actually. So Subari Muni thought to himself, nobody would marry me because look at me, I'm so old and wrinkled, and my head is trembling and I have arthritis. What else, right? And so I have all of these things. So who's going to marry me? So better, I transform myself. So with his mystic power, he transformed himself into a young man, very handsome, And, he went to the king, and there were 50 princesses, and they all wanted to marry him. So, how lucky is he? Right? Instead of getting one, he got 50. So, he married all of them. And with his mystical powers, he created a very nice city for himself, and he basically, it was like the city of Dwaraka, very opulent, with nice, beautiful homes for his wives, and from each wife he had 100 sons. So from one person meditating, he expanded his family into 5,000, right? Because from each wife he got 100 sons. Basically, his family expanded to 5,000. So then he was enjoying himself, with his queens and with his children, like this. And he was carrying on. But one day it dawned upon him, and this is, he's regretful. He was also regretful of his situation, like how Garuda was regretful for his situation. Sabari Muni as well, was regretful for his situation. And he said, I was alone in the water, practicing my austerities. And here, just because I saw two fish mating, I got this desire, and here I am. I have a family of 5,000. Like, what happened to me? Right, so this is the Lord's illusory potency, basically. Sometimes when we are under the spell of Maya, I think like, what the hell happened to me? I wasn't thinking straight. Why did I do this? But actually, the Lord has a reason for all of this. Just to make us stronger in our devotional service, and bring us to our senses, that we should not fool around in devotional service, but have a focused mind and a focused goal that I want to go back to the Lord within this lifetime, and Krishna will basically make those arrangements. So like this, Sabari Muni, he renounced everything, and he went back to the forest to meditate, and guess what? His 50 queens or 50 princesses, they all followed him. And they said, because life is nothing without him, he's our shelter, so better, we follow him. So they went also to the forest, and they started practicing meditation with Sabari Muni, and whatever result he would get, his wife would automatically get that, because the spouse actually takes on like 50% of the husband's credits, spiritual credits. So, and they reach the same destination as their spouse, right? Because they took shelter of him. So in this way, they also get the benefit. So although he now was like a renunciate, because he renounced his kingdom, he renounced everything, and renounced his children, and renounced his wives as well, mentally, but because they followed him, they gained the same destination as he. So after that, he went back home, back to Godhead. So we see that certain situations in our lives would cause us to be regretful. Why did I do this? Why wasn't I thinking straight, So like this, we should be very careful, on the spiritual path. We should be very careful, because Prabhupada says that, the spiritual path, on the spiritual path, there's many thorns as well. So we should, try to avoid the thorny path, and take the sure way back to the spiritual world. So in this way, and there's many other pastimes like this. like Vritrasura as well. How did he become Vritrasura? He was Chitraketu Maharaj, right? And Chitraketu Maharaj, when he was going back home, back to Godhead. So when you go back to the spiritual world, like how the Brihad Bhagavatam, it states that you have to pass through all these material coverings to go back to the spiritual world. And whilst he was going back, he saw Mother Parvati sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva, and he laughed and he says, like, what type of renunciate this is this? He laughed at Lord Shiva. And then he was cursed to become a demon, and he became Vritrasura. But we see in that past time, he and Indra were engaging in a battle, and Vritrasura, being a demon, he was speaking transcendental knowledge to Indra, and he says, just what are you wasting time for? Just kill me. I'm not this body. I'm the spirit soul. I'm part and parcel of the Lord. So he started giving this transcendental knowledge, and he's saying, just kill me. I'm open for it. Don't waste your time. So in this way, Indra took his weapon and he vanquished Vritrasura. So, but although it was a tough fight, it was a tough battle back and forth between Vritrasura and Indra, and in the end he just surrendered and he says, what's the use of this body? Just let it go. I want to go back to the spiritual world. So, like this, when he left his body, then he went back to the spiritual abode of Krishna. So, we too should basically take these teachings into our lives. And Sabari Muni thought, that just from my example, people in this world can get information on how not to waste their time in this material world, but go back to the spiritual world. So in this way, this was his thought, that yes, this is an inspiration to others to try not to waste their time here. So, and to get rid of all these desires that we may have. So in the Nectar of Devotion, there's a nice verse, Anya Bilasita Sunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulyena Krishnanu, Shilanam Bhakti Uttamam. The first class devotional service must be free from jnana and karma, and like fruitive work and speculative knowledge. And we should aspire to serve Krishna favorably the way Krishna desires. So in this way, having this mindset and practicing our devotional service, then surely our path back home, back to Godhead, is open. So I think we'll stop there and take any questions. If anyone has any want to contribute to this class, you're most welcome to do. Jai Prabhu. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. You mentioned about Sobari Muni practicing austerities. What is the goal of austerities? It's a material benefit, or but because he was the lesson we can learn, but he was in a secluded place away from, he had no association. Shame with another great yogi, Vishwamitra Muni, also was practicing very powerful for many years, and even Indra was envious of him, of his powers. And Indra tempted him with very beautiful woman, and Vishwamitra Muni, it is said that he did not even see, he just heard the ankle bells, and he broke his concentration, and he started to run after this girl, and subsequently married her. Yeah, so the point is association is very, very important, that in our practice of that we always stay in association. On our own we cannot, it's very difficult. We'll get, this contamination. The material nature is so powerful. So we need to be in the association of devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for bringing up that point. Yes, association is very, very important, because if we're going wrong, then the devotee can put us back on the right path. So association with Vaishnavas is very, very important. And as Prabhu was saying, that Sabari Muni was alone in the water, practicing austerities. But we are very, very fortunate that we have the association of devotees to, to guide us and to pull our ears and bring us back to Krishna consciousness. Right? Anything else? Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu? Okay. On this side. Mataji's? Rupa Mataji, anything? Okay, so we'll stop there. Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol.